Hi everyone, and welcome back to Genealogy Sucks. Last time I talked to you guys and told you a little backstory about these boxes that we acquired through a random Facebook message. So my mom here is gonna kind of tell you the story, and we're gonna go through some of the items together.
Yeah, so back in October of last year, I got a Facebook message from someone I didn't know. They introduced themselves and told me they had moved into a home in Mansfield and that they found some boxes in their attic. They told me there are photos and letters between my parents when my father was in the Navy, baby books, birth certificates, wedding photos, wedding certificate, and he wanted to know, the person that messaged me, if he said he wanted to know if I was the right Janie, and if not, he apologized. He went on to, you know, I replied, we talked back and forth, and then he sent me a screenshot of this family photo of my family that was taken when I was about 5. And when he sent that, I was like, yeah, that's my family. So we made arrangements then to meet. The next day, I took my parents with me, who are now 88 and 92, and we went to our former home, and we picked up 3 or 4 boxes. The photos and memories had been left in old whiskey boxes that had disintegrated over time. They'd been in the attic for close to 40 years. And they just happened to be found. I think they were having repair on their chimney, and the contractor mentioned to them that there were boxes in the attic, which they knew nothing of, and kind of that's where the story kind of began to unfold. So that's kind of the backstory.
Yeah. And we found a lot of really cool stuff. One of those things I'll mention, but probably not put on camera, just in case the wrong family member sees this, because you guys are tricky. But there's like the only existing photo of Grandma pregnant, which is really cute, and she looks absolutely adorable, but she would absolutely stab me to death if she knew that I had that. So
you know, we had moved a lot. My mom was a realtor, and we moved around a lot. And so I remember a time, I was about 12 years old, and I remember sitting and going through my baby book, which I think this one is mine, being that it's pink. But I remember going through it, and you know, when you're a kid, you love looking through things. Actually, this is my brother's. Just kind of funny. But they both are, actually. I remember going through the baby book, and a lot of these things, there are cards. I think my mother saved every card from every baby that she had. And I remember going through these when I was about 12, and then I never saw them again. And since we moved a lot, we assumed, or I assumed, they were lost in one of the moves, only to find out so many years later that they were left behind in an attic. So we found, you know, baby cards, baby books, birth certificates.
There's Craig's birth card.
That's my second to the oldest brother's birth card from the hospital. It's just so neat to see all of the old cards, and they're just so neat. And photos, original birth certificates.
I'm sorry at my face, the shock on my face just now. I found feeding instructions for my uncle, for his doctor gave it to him.
For my brother Craig.
Yeah. I can't read and tell how
Formula.
old he was. But the suggestion is like peas, and this looked like it was from the hospital. At first, I was absolutely shocked that they would suggest.
Well, it's from the baby, the pediatrician or baby doctor. But I don't know how old he was.
weight 21
So
pounds,
he
1
wasn't
ounce.
newborn.
So no, he wasn't a newborn. Thank God.
Yes.
That was scary. Yeah.
Yeah, we found, somewhere in here, there's a, this one actually, this is baby's first haircut. This is, my brother Tim, my youngest brother's first haircut is in this envelope. He had really blonde, kind of reddish blonde, it looks like, hair.
Yours turned
dark. Yeah.
Actually.
So it's just fascinating. It was just such a wonderful gift to find all of these things. And there are letters that we wrote as children to our parents, really from all of us. Dear Mom, I love you very, very much. Craig M. And paper must have been a shortage. I wrote, Dear Father, I love you very, very much. Love, Janie. And then on the other side, I wrote, Dear Mother, I love you very, very much. Love, Janie. It's dated 1971.
You were 10.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would have been almost 10. It's been a wonderful gift, finding all of these things. I want to pull this photo. We found the photo of my father's, when he left the Navy, his first business of his own for B&M Electric. Those were his trucks, and he had a business partner at the time. It's just so amazing to unpack all of this history, from pictures of my dad as a young man or a boy.
He is actually in this photo right here. Tiny to see for you guys, but my mom can probably see.
Yep, that's him.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, and it's also really neat to look at all of these photos of my dad as a young man and my brothers and see how much, especially my son, looks like them.
Yeah, where's that? Here it is. This, I don't know if you guys will ever get introduced to my brother Tori, but this looks exactly like my brother. I asked my 3-year-old daughter unprompted who would this look like, and she said, Toy. So, sorry, Uncle Tori. This has you written all over it.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorites is this picture, and I think this is my grandma just after having, this is just after having my Uncle Tim, and I just think she just looks so pretty. It's like a Hollywood movie star. I just think that's so neat.
She does.
So,
and he just had a birthday.
Yeah. There's 2 pregnancy photos. Better not tell her.
Lots and lots of Olin Mill. You know, Olin Mills was a photography studio. Lots of photos of each of the boys when they were growing up, and then of course that first photo that we showed you of the family photo, which is a classic.
That is, and you only had this in
I only had a wallet
black
size.
and white.
Yeah, I had a black and white wallet size.
And so this one is really the kind of the treasure.
It is
a little bit.
It's damaged, but it's still really nice to have it back in our hands.
Yeah.
And the other thing we found a lot of, and this is just really a very small sampling because there were about 3 boxes of items. So there are, as I mentioned, letters that we wrote to our parents, all of us. It's really cute. And artwork, little drawings we made, and some, Valentine cards. One of the neat things was a dollar bill for my oldest brother, Frank, from my mother's father. So it was a $1 bill, and then he wrote on it, his birthday wishes, which I think is really neat.
Do we know the history of that cup?
I don't know. I don't really know. I think this may have been my brother Frank's, but I'm not really sure. But And then we got, you know, we have lots of photos of my father's Navy photos. I think this is his high school graduation photo. And my son is the, pretty much the spitting image of my father as a young man. So it's just, I'm just amazed at this. And it was just such a wonderful gift that they sought us out to find us. And, you know, if it weren't for social media, that would have been a much more difficult thing to do. So, you know, there are some positive sides to social media, and this being one of them. I just think it's a really neat story.
Yeah.
This one last thing that I would like to share, if you don't mind.
I don't. That's actually one that I was going to share as well.
Well,
Great minds.
I'll let you if you want.
So this actually has a lot of historical value as far as our local community, because this is a school that no longer exists. It is a copy of the Newman Echo for Newman School, and it is, let's see, October 1938. The price was 3 cents, and it is their Halloween issue. The writing, although it's a little bit eaten up, you can see...
A little moth-eaten.
Yeah, but you can see clear as day. You can read through it.
The school children wrote poems and stories, and their names are there, and I know there's one in here that my father wrote. I'll have to find it.
There's
their local advertisements for a grocer with quality meats, vegetables, and fruits, and they deliver. Restaurants, meat markets.
What grade would he have been in?
Oop. I don't remember. I know we have found
38.
I don't know, but I know we found his story. I'll look while you...
Yeah. One of these cool things that one of the ones that I thought was really neat was this photo. It's my grandfather when he was a little boy. I've never seen any photos of him that little, which was absolutely adorable. Aside from the Newman School book, we found a lot of my uncle's things from college, notes between him and his high school girlfriend that they were pretty steady. And actually, my favorite thing of all we had to throw away, unfortunately, because after about, what you said, 40 years? Mm-hmm. After about 40 years, a fossilized piece of iced cake addressed to my mother had to be laid to rest. One of the boys must have snuck it to her after a party, but it was very orange, so props to whoever made that food coloring.
So I found my father's little story in the Newman School booklet. He must have been in the 6th grade, apparently. Aww. And he's talking about his hobby, which is really interesting because it was a lifelong hobby. And it reads, I love aviation because I love planes. I have built my own plane. It is 9 feet long and 17 inches wide. I hope that I will be a great flyer someday. My father is going to send me to a government university to take up flying. I hope that someday I will be able to get a job flying the U.S. mail across the country. Eugene Mastandria. And he did grow up not to fly as his profession, but he did get a pilot's license, as did my mom and my oldest brother. And we did have my dad had his own Cessna 2-seater plane. So he kind of did fulfill that dream. So, yeah.
That's one of the things I love the most. Stop showing off. I apologize. I know that a lot of my friends get a kick out of her. I don't.
Zoe just had a lollipop and she has a purple tongue. Very nice.
This, there's a picture here of, it looks like my Uncle Craig, my Uncle Frank, and
I think those are neighbor kids.
Neighbor kids,
I don't
maybe.
recognize them.
Oh,
okay.
friends of
Okay, so it's
my
Bill and Kathy.
grandparents.
Okay. Okay.
And so, but it's funny because my uncle, a lot like my brother, cannot take a photo without making a ridiculous face. I mean, that's mild, but look at that. And so this one, I don't know if you want to hold it up, Mom. He's scrunching his face up.
Yeah, he's got his face all scrunched up.
He's a character.
So it's just been this has just been a wonderful gift, and we're so grateful to the family that found this and you know, resurrected it for us as a family so that we can enjoy it, and it's just been really great.
Yeah. I did at one point contact the newspaper. Unfortunately, my grandma declined that offer, but it was really fun to at least try.
It's a neat story. It just doesn't happen every day, and I so appreciate that they made the effort to find us, because they knew some family is out there missing these things, and we are. I mean, we were. It's really nice to have them back.
One thing I failed to mention is I found, growing up, my grandpa had some loose photos from his time during World War II, but he actually had a scrapbook displaying life on the boat that he was on, a piece of an envelope that he was writing to my great-grandmother. There's all kinds of pictures of Manila and other places that they went, and so that's another really cool thing, and it is so fragile that I'm not gonna touch it, but I think this was more fun than any toy unboxing I've watched. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's really neat. And every time you open it and go through it, you see something new.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. The vintage baby cards alone are really
Those are
cool.
funny. Some of them, I think there were some that were like carnation cards. Yeah, like Procter and Gamble sent this.
Right, just like when you have a baby, you get all kinds of offers in the mail.
Yeah.
Right, and advertisements, coupons.
This is how to do your baby's laundry. Here's a pamphlet or card of some kind. So it's just, it's a fun experience.
It is.
For both of us. For my mom, probably even more so, but...
Well, it is, because I thought all of these things were lost. I remember sitting and looking through them as a kid and thinking I would never see them again. So it's really been nice. And only one of my brothers has been back. They all live in Hawaii, so only one has been back to go through these things. So I look forward to going through all of it with the other two as well.
This is illegible.
It's from my brother.
It's from my brother, or your brother, Tim. And it says, it's February 14, 1963. Dear Mother, I love you. Will you be my Valentine? Love, Timothy. And there's a little colored heart that says, I love you. So, for me, this has been an awesome experience just because not only have things been found that I had not... Oh, wow, he had put a lot of
little colored things.
Confetti and things.
Yeah,
oh,
there's I don't know if that's a heart or an apple.
That's a heart with an arrow through it,
Okay.
but he cut the arrow off.
Okay.
His scissor skills were good.
That's right.
So this has been a privilege for me because not only finding things that were lost, but like the pictures of my grandparents before my mom was born, pictures of my grandfather in the Navy we had very little of. A lot of things didn't get saved in the moves too, and probably before my mom was born, and so it's nice to kind of have a reconnection to a little bit of that history that you missed. And this Newman School book especially is just, I'll hold it up for people to see the cartoon drawings and things. It's just honestly a really cool thing, and I have to take that to the local library to get that microfiche under an agreement. So but thank you all for watching this video. It means a lot to me. I think it means a lot to both of us. So thank you again, and thank you for watching me be on my bullshit all the time. I love you guys, and have a good week.